Hi everyone, my name is Jongyeol Lee. I'm a Senior Vice President of Samsung Electronics. I'm responsible for developing software for every kind of storage product. I was planning to meet you at OCP Global Summit in March. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it because of coronavirus issue. But finally, we meet online at this OCP Virtual Summit. I appreciate that OCP Foundation leaders arranged this opportunity. It's my real honor being the first OCP keynote speaker from Samsung. Today, I would like to share some exciting news on Samsung's initiatives in open source and open storage platform. Before we begin, let me tell you a little bit about Samsung you might not know. You are probably familiar with the Samsung Galaxy phones. Of course, we are famous as a mobile vendor. In addition to that, Samsung is one of the largest memory companies in the world. We make world-class DRAM and NAND flash. And continuously, we innovate new technologies to provide a wonderful product experience to users. When it comes to NAND, some customers are capable of using NAND flash, but controlling the NAND can be very tricky. So to save our customers from such hassle, we provide storage products such as UFS and SSD that integrate our hardware and software technologies. We strive to help our customers use this product more effectively and efficiently through a vertically integrated solution incorporating host software. The open source contribution from Samsung started from these solutions. Looking at Samsung's open source history on this slide, we've taken some steps over the last decade. Our journey began with F2FS. That is a file system optimized for SSDs. And it was followed by multi-stream SSD, which is a new way of handling multiple data streams. Both softwares have been open sourced to Linux mainline. And now F2FS is one of the main file systems in smartphones. More recently, we've really been focused on performance boosting innovation for UFS. UFS is the main storage product used in smartphones. We put this effort in Samsung Open Source Hub, which is called OpenMPDK. 3 years ago, we introduced Mission Peak, which is our first server reference platform ever to be contributed to OCP. As I mentioned before, we've taken some steps toward open source, but we are still in the baby step stage. Samsung is quite new to this area, but please be sure there's a lot more Samsung can contribute. Now, let's turn to data center. It's truly the era of data center. When you think about data centers and the huge amount of data they process, we can say there is an unprecedented challenge before us. Cost efficiency is at the core of any solution. It's vital for us to understand the cost that end customers have to pay and provide them with savings that they cannot ignore. Since the beginning of data center, achieving high performance with low power has always been the problem of the day. Today's engineers are developing innovative ways to deliver higher performance on one hand, combined with lower power on the other hand. Last but not least, there is always the concern of quality. It's so important for data centers to provide coherent, consistent, and reliable quality that customers can look forward to. Now, this leads to the following questions. How are we going to solve this problem? Are we the only ones facing such issues? Do we need to find a solution for every single one of them? At the end of the day, we have got innovative answers with technological breakthroughs, but they are still scattered and fragmented. All those fragmented solutions add up to extra cost. So I believe this is why we need OCP community for collaboration. Through this community, we can provide unified visibility for the upcoming problems. By collaborating and working together in this ecosystem with partners and clients, we'll be able to resolve the existing problems in data center. With that in mind, Samsung hopes to make new waves in this ocean. It's my great pleasure to present to you Samsung's new open storage platform, Project Poseidon. Project Poseidon is a storage reference platform which implements all pressurized storage server. When we took on Project Poseidon, we set out to design an open storage platform which not only provides hardware reference architecture but also software as well. With the integration of powerful hardware and software, everything will be open for the users to build their own ideas on top of that. We are really proud that we can contribute in opening up doors to fully exploit the potential of NAND flash through this project. Now you see why we have named it Project Poseidon. Through our contribution, we want to invite all the fragmented solutions and devices into one sea. In essence, Project Poseidon is a disaggregated storage to support NVMe over Fabric protocol. What are the vital virtues of this project? First, there is QoS. Along with high performance, low and consistent latency is absolutely essential for data centers. Especially these days, both single storage and storage systems are shared with multiple virtual machines. So meeting a certain level of service is very critical. If storage products do not provide stable QoS, it can have a direct impact on end customers, which result in low satisfaction. As a storage manufacturer, we have a lot of experience in working with data centers. We were very surprised to see that our SSDs were put into the unknown environments and unexpected situations. Such SSDs can become extremely vulnerable. This is why management features based on user experience is so important. Project Poseidon with OpenVFC is all geared up to welcome all types of new features from our users. Up until now, Samsung has provided various types of SSD solutions from TLC to QLC SSD, also emerging SSDs such as GSSD and Smart SSDs. We often get the question from customers whether they can improve storage performance by mixing and matching our SSD solutions. Project Poseidon will give the answer for that question. Further, we can also include better features in SSDs that Project Poseidon software can get access with configurable options. Last but not least, we believe that this aggregated storage should provide flexible architectures for cloud service. In order to do that, we'll be supporting not only traditional APIs, but also virtualization and container APIs. Our contribution is just the starting point, but its values and virtues will be extended to millions of peers in this community. I cannot tell you how excited we are to announce this collaboration. 3 major industry leaders in Asia got together for this project. First, Inspur, the #1 server vendor in China has built a hardware open platform, and Samsung has developed and contributed software. The system integrated with the hardware and the software will be provided to Naver Business Platform MVP, where they will run tests and finally deploy actual services on it. Naver is one of the biggest portal and social networking companies in Asia. They also provide world-famous social networking services like Line. So at this moment, I would like to share Mr. Anlang Chang's video clip with you. Mr. Anlang Chang is a Deputy GM of Server Product Department from Inspur. He is going to tell you why Project Poseidon is important in the OCP community.
Thank you for having me. My name is Alan Chen, representing Inspur, working with Samsung on this Poseidon project. In the last couple of years, Inspur internally has spent tremendous amount of hours working with end user, customers, research and development, and industry smartest people trying to figure out how do we improve the efficiency in the storage area for data center infrastructure. For all those conversations, we always come back with one thing. Customer is kind of tired of having to leverage the personal computer industry standard for their server infrastructure. Give me an example, 2.5-inch form factor, 3.5-inch form factor, or even PCIe cards. Yes, we improved the latency and efficiency or density by giving them from SATA to SAS to PCIe NVMe. But in terms of the form factor, in terms of the thermal behavior, there's nothing has tremendously changed the industry until today. When Samsung approached Inspur about the E1.S form factor, we have a great, ambitious goal ahead of us. But there's two things we mutually agree upon. First of all, we want to make sure this technology can adapt in a POC that has as little as variables as possible. So we have to pick a platform that's highly reliable and has a highest run rate and can be easily adopted by the industry. So we picked the 19-inch form factor of 1U box. Second thing we mutually agree, we want to make sure customer can also compare the 32 E1.S to the conventional infrastructure they have today. For instance, in a 1U setup, you should have a 4 large form factor setup or 10 small form factor setup that customer can compare the traditional U.2 NVMe with 10 and compare to what they might get in terms of the 32 E1.S, in terms of the performance, in terms of the cost, in terms of the everything else. So in terms of the joint cooperation, we decided together to contribute the entire design of our future 1U with dual socket CPU from Intel. So this particular contribution will include not just the E1.S, but also the system in the 1U system with 4 large form factor, 10 small form factor, and then the 32 E1.S, which is a 3 combination contribution together to the Open Compute project. The goal is to having the smartest people in the industry again to actually give us feedback. How does this E1.S could really evolve or revolutionize how you use it? It could be futurely, we have a 2U system, 1/2U system, or anything in between. So thank you again for having me, and then hopefully you will follow up with us on this contribution and what we want to approach together. And then we together as a community can actually have a revolutionized storage in the space. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you very much. Project Poseidon is an NVMe over Fabric system. It's adopting E1.S SSD. This new E1.S SSD is coupled with an industry standard EDSFF connector and 6th generation Samsung VNAND for the first time. Also, It will allow you to get maximum 8 TB in this small form factor. This storage system contains up to 32 E1.S SSD to 56 TB in total. E1.S SSD will improve space utilization, expand the power budget to deliver higher performance, and make PCI Gen 4 speed feasible. Eventually, data center managers will add more SSD per rack unit. Project Poseidon embraces state-of-the-art technologies for data center. We already talked about NVMe over Fabric, PCI Gen 4, E1.S form factor. In addition to those, there are several points you should not miss. Most of the software stacks are built in user space so that the system can maximize the performance. And I believe that OpenBMC is also appealing to customers who want to ensure stable operation of their data center. Finally, Project Poseidon supports various kinds of interface that helps you adopt it to your data center very easily. Now, you might be asking, when is this all gonna happen? Our first POC for MVP data center will take place in the third quarter of this year. Afterwards, it will be contributed to OCP for all of you. Do you have more plans? Absolutely. Our next version plan for 2021 is going to be all about adopting alpha technologies and integrating scale-out solutions. Samsung is proud to be a member of OCP and honored to contribute and collaborate. Our commitment starting from Project Poseidon will be open to this community, so all of you can get access to this broad ecosystem. With that, I would like to close this session today. I hope you and your family are very safe under these difficult days. I really want to see all of you next year at OCP Global Summit. Thank you very much.